morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are tuning in from around the world. I go by the name Teacher World. My YouTube channel is titled Teacher World. It is channeled as Teacher World because my channel was created to help people who are curious and interested with teaching abroad. I taught abroad in China for 3 years, and I enjoyed my experience doing so, but I created my channel, Teacher World, to help people who are interested and curious about teaching in a different country. Now, I am not here to share my experience alone. I have a wonderful guest who is going to introduce who he is and share with you based on his experience. Can you please share who you are?
All right, thank you very much. My name is Joshua Bafakben. I'm actually from Ghana in West Africa. I'm a teacher. I teach in a special school in Accra, Ghana. I and I want to teach abroad, and I started my journey some few months ago. I came along teacher work on YouTube. I watched some videos there, and then I realized that um, as a non-native, I'll be able to teach abroad. So I'm actually on my journey now, and I'm, still doing a lot of research about teaching abroad. So that's a little I can say about myself.
Thank you, Joshua, for sharing and letting our viewers know more about you. So, you say that you are a teacher in Ghana?
Yes, I am.
And can you tell us what is it like teaching in Ghana?
Wow. All right. Teaching in Ghana, it's very cool, because it's my home country. I'm so used to the environment and everything here. The kids, you know, um, the local dialect and everything, I'm so used to it. It's nice. It's a good experience, though. Um, I think as classes begins at 8 a.m. and then, the school day ends at 3:30 p.m. And you get to go home to rest and, prepare to go back to school the next day, Mondays to Fridays. The holidays too, not bad. It's quite fine. The kids are so loving, interacting, and because you are from the same place, teaching is so easy here. Yeah.
Teaching is easy in Ghana?
Yes, it is. For me, I don't know what another teacher would say, but to me, teaching is so easy. It's so easy here to me. Yes.
I'm really curious about that. Can you tell
Okay.
me what makes teaching in Ghana easy for you?
Okay. I say teaching is easy for me because I teach primary kids. I teach from 4 to 6 mathematics, and the kids. It's a special school actually. I love the kids so much. They love me. The method of teaching I use is so encouraging that makes the children feel belong in the environment and the classroom. The lesson notes or the lesson plans are we have a curriculum we use. So when you have mastery of the subject, and as a teacher, when you have mastery of the subject, you know how to plan your lessons, which will be so interesting with the kids. Maybe if you don't know how to plan a lesson, that's why you may think teaching is difficult. I'm talking about teaching being easy here, not on the salary aspect, but or not on the condition of living here, but as you see, for the love of kids. I love kids so much. I take teaching as a passion, and because it's a passion, I see it to be something so easy for me. Yes, please.
That's what I love that. I love that, and I'm like over here smiling because I am a teacher in New York, as you know, and like you said, you have to have a passion to work with children. I teach sixth grade, and I absolutely love it. I didn't start off teaching sixth grade; I started off teaching first grade, but nonetheless, I love it. So I have another question to ask. Will this be your first teaching experience out of your
Okay.
home?
Yes. This will be my first teaching experience out of my home country. Um, over here, when you're done with, I attended a teacher training college, of education. And when you're done with college, um, if you have good passes, you have to write a license examination. When you pass the license examination, the government automatically gives you a posting. You'll be sent to a school to teach. It could be a special school, it could be a normal school, but you just have to go. Yes, sometimes too, if you don't have good passes, if you don't have a license, you wouldn't be able to teach in Ghana in a public school. It's very necessary to have a license, and with that license, when you're done with the training college, the teacher training college, you have to write a license exam. Yeah, it's just three subjects: essentials, literacy, and then numeracy. So when you're able to pass through these three subjects, and you have your license, and then you'll be given a school to teach by the government. Yes. So this will be my first time, trying to teach outside my home country. I've been teaching all along here.
So now this will be your first experience teaching abroad. How do you feel leaving your home country for at least a year being abroad?
Wow, wow, wow! It's gonna be a dream come true to me. Also, it's going to be something big to me. Why am I saying it's going to be something big to me? Because I can't wait to have a feel, to have the experience of teaching different kids. Kids from different culture. Yeah, you see, everything about them is just different. Talking about the skin color, the way they speak, the way they do their things. It's going to be a good thing for me because I believe I'll gain more experience doing that. I'm so used to teaching in my home country, but if I get opportunity to go outside to a different country to teach, I'll really make good use of that. I'll learn a lot and bring that back into my home country to impact kids in my country here.
That's amazing. And I have to say, teaching in a different country is a different experience. All of my experience was teaching in the United States, teaching in New York. But when I left New York and I went to China, oh my gosh. I mean, it was very different, but I loved what I was doing. Even though I was out of my comfort zone, I grew accustomed to the traditions and customs and teaching students. My education is based on childhood experience, teaching students in the elementary grades. But whatever I learned in the United States, I brought those same practices with me teaching in China, and I think it had helped me be very successful and make an impact being abroad. So, what inspired you to teach abroad?
Yeah, I'm an internet person. I love going online to do a lot of research, especially on YouTube. And I watched a lot of videos about foreigners teaching abroad. I especially looked into blacks, Africans teaching abroad, and I was like, wow, is it really possible to go abroad to teach as a black man or as an African? I asked myself that question. But when I listened to success stories of people, Africans especially, that have traveled out to teach, I was like, okay, it's a good experience. Why don't I try it myself? But that being set aside, right from childhood, I'd always loved teaching. I remember childhood, I used to teach my colleagues their homeworks. When they come home with their homeworks, they'll rush to me to, like, no, Joshua, help me with my homework and this kind of stuff, and then I'll do it for them. I think during the holidays too, I used to like bring them together, and I would like I had a board, a blackboard, then a chalkboard where I teach them. I ask them to bring some monies and buy some chalk, and I teach them during the holidays. So I realized that it's something that I really love to do, teaching. It's a passion. I felt that it's not just something I'm doing for the money, but it's something I'm doing because when I do it, I feel loved, I feel happy. Just imagine just a child being able to identify an object and saying, okay, this is a me. That kind of joy would come, like, oh, I really had made an impact in this child. I was able to teach this child how to identify this object, and So that love, that joy, it's really amazing. So that alone made me be like, okay, I think I'm used to my people more. Why don't I, also go out? If someone out there is able to do it, not having two heads, having one head just like me, come on, having a black skin like me, I could also try it and see how it goes. So that was what really inspired me. The success stories of Africans out there teaching abroad inspired me to, take that leap to also teach abroad.
That's powerful because
Yeah.
when I was in China, there were many Africans that I became friends with that are teaching
Wow.
abroad. I have friends who are still in China from West
Wow.
Africa who are still teaching. I was communicating with someone from Ghana and he is in
Ah,
Vietnam teaching. That's right. He's in Ghana. Well, he's from Ghana. He's teaching in Vietnam, and he's teaching.
wow.
Has experience teaching at a public school and a private school, and he's been there.
Wow.
I would have to say since 2015.
Wow. That's been a long time.
A long time. I don't think he has any desire to return back to his home country anytime soon. But I look forward to meeting with him as well and speaking with him about his experience.
All right.
So
All
you
right. That's good.
mentioned a little bit about of Africans who are teaching abroad, teaching overseas. So who is eligible to teach overseas, and what are the requirements?
Yeah. For who is eligible, I would say um, anyone is eligible. So far as you've been able to, pass through education, you know how to speak English fluently, you graduated from the university, I believe you'll be able to teach abroad, a native or a native, you'll be able to teach abroad. And then for the requirements, I would say first, you need to have a bachelor's degree to be able to teach abroad. It's very important. You can't use, certificates. In Africa, here we have something we call a HND, Higher National Diploma. You can't use that. You need a bachelor's degree from the university, and it should be a 4-year bachelor's degree program. Um, you would also need a TOEFL certificate, TEFL. You need that certificate as well. And then, yeah, when you have these two, and if your English is fluent, near native, if you can speak closely like how the Americans speak, I believe you are good to go to teach abroad. Yeah.
Okay, so to teach abroad, you have to have a bachelor's degree. If you have a master's degree, that would be perfect. You do need a
Yeah.
TEFL certificate that stands for teaching English as a foreign language.
Yeah.
You have to have a passion for teaching students. And
Very
I
well.
guess you did share because I know you're going through this experience. You're going through this process of teaching abroad. You're starting with the initial steps. You're doing everything that I did back in 2014 to get the job abroad. Um,
Right.
Now, one thing that I do want to mention for those of you who are interested in teaching abroad, especially being a non-native English speaker, you are competing with these jobs. You are competing for these jobs with native English speakers,
Yeah. 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 You are.
right? You're competing, so you want to put yourself in the best position possible, and maybe Joshua can speak on that. But I do know that as a non-native English speaker, there are certain exams that will show your English proficiency that will look good when these employers look at your resume or your CV and they want to determine if they want to move along the process to interview you. So you have something called the ELTS exam. It's spelled IELTS, and there's
Yeah.
something called the TOEFL exam. Have you seen these, Joshua? Maybe through
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
research.
Yeah. I've actually seen this. I've seen it. Yeah. Most recruiters or employers do ask of these certificates. They would like to know how proficient you are in the English language. So when you have those certificates and they look at your score, they'll really know if, yeah, you speak near native or not. And there's something I also forgot which you just chip in, which is the CV. Sometimes we forget about the CV. We think, okay, the bachelor's degree and then the TOEFL certificate is enough for you to get a teaching job abroad. No, you should have a standard CV. Yes, you should have that as well because the CV is going to show the experiences you have. You state all that in there because the first time the employer asks for this documents, he wouldn't just ask for the CV, and the CV is going to speak about you a bit to him before he would know if okay maybe you should go on with the recruitment or not. So a CV is also important.
The CV, absolutely, absolutely. So whoever's looking to teach abroad, they should have their bachelor's degree. Having a master's degree is important. They need a TEFL certificate. They have to create
Yeah,
their CV, and
yeah,
this is all good information. And then if they are not native English speakers, they should definitely look into completing those, taking those exams that show their proficiency, so that recruiters can hire them and know why they
yeah.
are necessary and needed for this particular job.
Very
Now,
true.
I want to ask you another question,
Okay.
because since you are applying as a non-native English speaker who speaks English so well, and your
Yeah.
diction is superb, and you can definitely um, teach children abroad and bring your own experience to it, especially because
Yeah.
as a bilingual speaker, you're an asset, because your process that you've experienced learning English is what you
Yeah.
can bring to the table when you are teaching students in China, well, or teaching students in Vietnam, or wherever you decide to teach.
Yeah.
But are you experiencing any challenges as a non-native English speaker who desires to teach overseas?
There are a lot of challenges I've faced so far, right from the application process. Most of the times when you go to Facebook groups or the websites actually to search for the jobs, you'll realize that it's stated clearly on the advertisement that native speakers only. So like when you see that, it's kind of like brings me down sometimes. But I was like, well, it's normal. So you realize that most of the jobs out there are more for the natives than for the non-natives. You could go to a Facebook group and then maybe about 15 job vacancies that have been posted out there. Maybe one out of 15 is stated there that okay, native or non-native. And even sometimes when they say non-native, it doesn't actually mean that um, it's for maybe someone like me from West Africa. I remember the last time I applied for a job and then in China, and then she sent me her WeChat and I was chatting with her, and then she was like, I told her I'm a native, I'm from Ghana, West Africa, and then she was like, no, this job is actually for white non-natives. I was like, wow, white non-natives. So I really felt I really felt down, but I saw it to be something normal. You see, so sometimes I see non-natives there and think that it's actually for Africans as well, but sometimes when they say non-natives, it actually means white non-natives. Maybe someone from a teacher from Mexico, Brazil, Philippines, and the other countries. Non-native doesn't actually mean West Africa or Africans. Yeah, it's broad. Yeah, so these are some of the challenges as well. I think also sometimes you might be chatting um, the recruiter or the employer, and then he or she would ask for your details. You'd send your details and you never get a reply from them. Yeah, you never get a reply for that. You wait maybe 2 days, 3 days, a week, and no reply for them from them because you sent them all the necessary documents they've asked you, and then you don't get any reply. At least even if I'm not getting the job, you should let me know that okay, I'm sorry you don't qualify, but it's it's no reply at all, which isn't nice at all. It's so sometimes you might feel like, well, I think I just need to stop. I don't need to go on with this job hunting, but a teacher is a teacher, so you just need to push on. You see, until you get what you want. You don't need to give up due to the actions of an employer or something. Yeah. So these are some of the few challenges I've gone through.
So, what is keeping you going? Because you are experiencing some challenges securing your dream job abroad. So, what's keeping you going over there?
Yeah. I'm someone who never gives up. I believe that the only time that I should give up is maybe when I'm dead. When I'm dead, because I know I can't do anything. But the fact that I'm living, I'm breathing, I get what I want. So just like I said earlier on, it's just a passion for me to teach. So be it teaching abroad or in my home country, the teaching goes on. But in order to gain more experience and experience different cultures, I will keep on pushing, yeah, until I get it, because I want my an example to out there, other non-natives out there who are trying to, push through to teach abroad. I want them to see how I've struggled, the hurdles I've passed through, but still being able to get a job abroad. So I'm not giving up now, and I wouldn't give up too.
That's right. I truly admire that and I respect that. And being a part of these Facebook groups, because that is actually how I met you, Joshua. I was just posting videos about teaching abroad, and you have inquired about teaching abroad. But there are so many people from different backgrounds who are teaching in these countries, and how did they do it, right? They're doing
Yeah,
it. So if there's a will, there is a way. Anyone could teach abroad, right? Being a native English speaker, a non-native, being a certified teacher, a non-certified teacher, anyone could teach abroad.
yeah.
Okay. Now, there was something that you mentioned before about the details or documents that you needed to send over to these employers or recruiters. What were some of those documents that you need to send over?
Sometimes it depends on the recruiters, but some of the documents I've sent CV. They ask for your CV. They ask for your introduction video, and then they ask for your bachelor's degree. Yeah, and then your TEFL certificate as well. These are just the few things they ask for in the early stages. They ask of these things in the early stages, and then maybe if you're able to pass through, then they set up an interview with you, and then the others comes in. Yeah, so your bachelor's degree, your TEFL certificate, your CV, and then your introduction video, very important. The introduction video, I think that they want to see or know how you speak, to see if you speak near native, if your English is fluent or not. So that's what they ask for. Yeah. So you send this to their email or maybe WeChat, depends on the medium you're speaking with them. So they ask of them and then just send it to them.
Okay, so now have you wasted your time sending this information to these recruiters and employers because they don't get back to you or they give you false hope?
No, 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 no. I don't see it as a waste of time. My journey so far, I see it as an experience in life. I see it as an experience in life. I see it as something that is building me up for the future. I see it as something that is making me grow into someone that doesn't give up. Someone that when you have faith in something, you believe something is going to work. You know that nothing is going to stop you. Yes, so I don't see it as a waste of time. I've sent a lot of CVs out there, introduction video to a lot of recruiters out there. I can remember some time ago, I sent to like 25 recruiters. I sent my CV and my introduction video and my bachelor's degree to 25 recruiters out there, their emails, and then I didn't get any reply. But it didn't stop me from 25. I sent them my documents and then I never got a reply from any of them. Yes, I think I got a reply from just one person, and I think that was English first or so. Yeah, I can't remember actually, but I got a reply from someone, and then the person asked of my nationality, and then I told. her that I'm a Ghanaian, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Oh, she was so nice to me, She told me that she was so sorry. The job is actually for native speakers. Yeah, so it's like if I was a South African, it would have been better for me to get a job. So I just said, "Oh, thank you very much," and that's all. But then 24 other recruiters, I never got a reply from them. I didn't even get a reply that, okay, you don't qualify. Oh, I've seen nothing, no reply at all, and up to date. But I'm still pushing. It hasn't, stopped me from going on.
We communicate on well, not a daily basis, but a weekly basis. And I didn't even know that you've applied to so many recruiters. You said 25 recruiters got back one reply, and you keep on pushing on.
Yeah.
This is going to be a success story. I cannot wait until you tell me, Teacher World, I got the job in whatever country that you desire to be in, and I'm going to be so happy because I'm rooting for you. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, because you are looking for these different places abroad.
Yeah.
Now, I know that
Yeah.
there are specific countries where non-natives can apply to, such
Okay.
as Turkey,
Okay.
Cambodia,
Well,
Mexico.
Mexico. Okay.
There are a few other countries. I have to do more research, but do any of those countries appeal to you?
Yeah. Yeah. Cambodia, I actually did a research in Cambodia, and then I'm someone who loves traveling. I love exploring. I love visiting new places, and I love asking questions. You realize from the first time I started chatting you, I asked a lot of questions, and then I was like, "Oh, teacher, well, please forgive me for asking questions, but that's who I am. I'm a teacher, and then I need to ask questions because I want to know more." Yeah. So Cambodia is a nice place. It's a nice place. Um, then they have good landscape. They have a lot of natural, well, I say resources over there. It's a good place for me. Yeah. Actually, right now, at first, I used to be very picky that I would love to teach in China, and but I later thought to myself that I think I should spread my wings all over. I shouldn't just focus on um, getting a job in China. I should also try other countries as well. Cambodia is not a bad place. It's good. I heard that the cost of living over there it's low. It's not high. I also heard of Thailand. I heard of but Mexico and then Turkey. I haven't actually done any research about those countries, but Cambodia, Thailand, yeah, I've heard about them. And right now I'm not just focusing on getting a job in China. I'm open to any country at all. The experience is what matters, the culture, and then the passion. The passion. I keep on saying that, and the willingness going there to be so humble to learn from the people, the locals. You learn from them, and you as well share your experience with them. That's just it. So I'm open to any country at all, provided the country is safe for Africans. I look at the safety in the country as well. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, you have to be safe, right? You have to be safe.
yeah,
So what advice could you share with anyone who's looking to teach abroad? What should they do to ensure that they're going to be safe in the country that they should go to?
yeah, yeah.
So what should they do to ensure that they're going to be safe? Like, what precautions are you taking?
Yeah. So, firstly, I think you should try to go on the internet and then check out. You know, I think the first thing you'd like to check out is natural disasters in such countries. Natural disasters in such countries. You need to look out for that. Is there are some countries that a lot of landslides, tsunamis, and a whole lot of natural disasters happens there a lot. So you need to look out for that. I know it doesn't happen in the whole country, but some specific areas in the country or cities in the country. So you should look out for that. And also, you look out for racism. Yeah, racism is everywhere, but there are some countries that is so high that you wouldn't be able to accommodate it if you are someone who is not having a humble heart. So you should also look out for that. Um, and then your security as well. How safe are you when you're walking around? How safe are you when you're walking around? Can you just move out at any time, maybe 12 a.m. to go to a nearby shop to get something? Can you move out at that time? Is it safe for you? You should look at that as well. Yeah, so I think these are just a few things you should look out for um, in various countries. Yeah.
This is actually my first, well, my first official time going live, and forgive me for my not being a novice, but we have some wonderful comments that I would like to just share with you guys. If you can see it across your screen,
All right.
uh, I
Yeah, I
really
can see.
appreciate these comments that's coming up. Are you able to see that, Joshua?
Yeah, I'm able to see it. I'm just reading it here now.
All right, I really
Great,
appreciate
great, great comments. Great comments.
absolutely. Okay, so let me continue on now. What scams can
Yeah.
potential teachers look out for, or people who are just interested in teaching abroad? What scams should they look out for when they're meeting with these recruiters and going on and having interviews?
Yeah, this is a very, very, very great question. You see, I usually advise that the fact that you're looking for a teaching job abroad means doesn't mean that you shouldn't be alert, because there are a lot of scammers out there. I've experienced a lot, not once, not twice. I think I've experienced, I think, some scamming activities 3 times. And these people were so genuine that I never even got to believe that they were scammers, right from, the application process down to the interview. The first person almost got me, but thanks to Teacher World, I spoke with her, and then she really, really, really gave me a good advice on that, and I was able to um, stop that scammer. What actually happened was that everything will look so real. Everything will look so real. You will never know that it's a scam, because it will be posted in the Facebook groups that we all know of, and their handles will all be there. And these people are all people that recruiters from. Um, I don't know. Am I good to mention a country name here, or I shouldn't disclose?
Maybe we won't disclose it.
All right. So yeah. So this recruiter just I saw his advert on Facebook, and I got the handle, and then I was chatting him, and he was so so nice, and asked the first question, asked me, am I qualified to teach in so so and so country? And I was like, well, I don't know, this is my first time. He was like, okay, send me your details. And then he asked of my he actually asked of my bachelor's degree. He as well asked of my CV, and then my introduction video, of which I sent all to him. So when I sent this documents to him, he looked at them, and then he replied me the next day, and he was like, okay, where exactly do you want to teach? He asked of the city, and then I told him, oh, I'm open to any city at all. I was like, okay. Then he told me, okay, we have a job here for a kindergarten school in so so and so city. And I was like, great. And he gave me the full description of the job, the salary, the teaching hours, um, if I would get accommodation or not, reimbursement of flights, and a whole lot. And I went through it, and I was like, okay, great. So he said, okay, we need to schedule an interview on Skype. And he told me to get a Skype account. Then I wasn't having a Skype account. Um, yeah, I'd like to add one thing now. If you are planning on teaching abroad, there are some apps you should really have on your phone. You don't have to wait till when the recruiter asks you, okay, chat me here, let's have the interview. Then you start, panicking to download those apps. You should have a Skype account. Well, if you have a Skype account set up, should have a WeChat account. Yes, the WeChat account is for if you're looking for jobs in China, they use WeChat account, the WeChat very well. So you should have that also. So I got the Skype account set up, and he gave me a time to call him, and I was ready. I called and he wasn't able to answer, and then a different person was chatting me and
Ooh.
told me that okay, yeah, told me that okay, Mr. This is not feeling well, and I'll be the one to take over the interview. And he also scheduled a different date. So I
Ooh.
was all prepared. I was all prepared. I was very happy. Okay, well, this is my first interview. I was
Mm-hmm.
so, so happy. And the video started. He called me and then he couldn't get me, so I called him back. And you know what happened? There was a trick. The scammers out there, they have a trick they use. He, I don't know, but he got a video of a white man, I think in his 40s thereabout, and then he was sitting in a library actually because I could see books around in shelves, and the video just plays for like 10 seconds, and then the call ended. So that video, you just see the man move a bit like this, and then the call just ended. So when the call ended, I called back and he didn't answer and told me that, oh, I think it's network issue, so we should make the call a voice call. And I was like, wow, come on, a voice call, an interview. Wouldn't you like to see my face to know, okay, I'm truly an African, I'm a black skinned person, this is how I am to. But he said, okay, a voice call will do. And we spoke. And one interesting thing again is that, I actually grew up part of my life in Nigeria. I grew up part of my life in Nigeria, so I know the way Nigerians speak. I know the way they speak a lot. So this man had a Nigerian accent. You know, his accent wasn't a Chinese accent, wasn't an American accent, but it was a Nigerian accent. And I was like, wow, come on, a Nigerian trying to recruit me in blah 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 country. I was so shocked, and the way he was speaking, his English wasn't fluent. A lot of grammatical errors in his English, and I was like, I wasn't convinced at all. But I guess I followed. I followed. The interview ended, and then he was like, okay, he would send my details um, to the school and get back to me. I was like, okay, thank you very much, and the call ended. I think that day I got in contact with you, and I told you about the interview. And I think the next day he sent me a message on Skype and told me that um, I'll be hearing from the school later in the day to receive my contract. And then I was like, okay. So I got a mail. I went to my email, and then I got a mail from the school HR. I read the mail, and then I was like, wow, a whole lot of grammatical errors, a whole lot of
Mm-hmm.
spelling mistakes. I was like,
Red
wow,
flag.
wow, this isn't genuine. And then I opened the contract, and then he told me that with this contract, I would have to pay for my insurance, and the insurance fees would be made upfront. I would have to make the payment directly to him before I'll be able to proceed with any other thing. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wow. So he gave me the amount, the figure. I saw it and I was like, okay, fine, that's great. But I didn't sign the contract. I didn't print out the contract to sign. I just ignored him. He was waiting, and I never replied him again. That was how everything ended for the first employer. But I checked the name of the school. I went online. I searched for the school. I never saw the school on Google. And I asked him, oh, how old is your school? And I was like, oh, the school is 15 years old. The school has been running for 15 years. Like, wow, 15 years, and then you don't have a website on Google. I was like, okay, that's fine. So there's this website too, where you can check the the how do you call it? To check how genuine a website is. There's a website you could put a specific website there, maybe facebook.com, and tell you when the website was created, and then when the website is going to expire, and then the name of the owner of the website. So the website is called whois.com. Whois.com, as in whois.com.
whois.com.
Yeah. That's the website. So
Okay.
yeah, so you'll be able to check the URL of the website to know how genuine it is. So I went there and then I put the website of the school, and then what I was getting there was that this website is not genuine. It's a scam. It's a scam detector. Yeah, a scam detector. And then it was red flagged, and I was like, wow, this isn't real. So I just ignored that, the recruiter, and I proceeded with applying to other companies. And then I came across another one again, and this same person asked for my details, and then the same Skype story. He made an interview. I woke up so early that day to have the interview with him. The same story. The background of a white man came within 10 seconds. The call ended, and then he told me that okay, he's having issues over there, network issues over there, and then we should switch to a voice call. And I said, okay, fine. The moment he said that, I knew he was also a scammer. And, we ended, and the same thing. I need to make payment for my insurance. The school wouldn't cover for my insurance. I need to make payment for my insurance in my home country here. And then when I'm done with that, the processing will begin for the visa and other things. And I just ignored him. So when I ignored, he sent me the contract. I never, talked with him again. And then I think 2 days later, he told me your contract has been terminated. That's
Terminated.
what he told. Yeah, that's what he told me. And then I just laughed, and I was like, I didn't even reply until now. So that's just it. So a whole lot of scams out there. We just need to be very careful. If it's someone who is so eager to travel abroad to teach, I think that person would have made that payment because he or she is so eager to teach abroad. But the thing is that the fact that you want to teach abroad doesn't mean that you shouldn't be alert out there to scams. You need to be very careful out there. You need to be wise. You need to know who is genuine and who is not. You need to do a lot of research, ask questions, ask a lot of questions. The websites I gave out there, they could also use that to check the URL of the website of the school. Try to ask if the school is having a website. Ask how long the school has been in existence. Ask them a lot of questions. You see, when you ask them a lot of questions, they'll start fumbling, and then you begin to know if because a recruiter would know more about his school. So when you ask a question about this and then he doesn't have a genuine answer to give to you, you know that truly it's a scam. It's not real. So please, guys, we need to be very alert out there. So these are some of the scams out there. Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Listening to the interview process that you have experienced, and then I'm thinking about my interview process back in 2014, completely
All
different.
right.
I did not
Wow.
have a phone interview. It was an interview via Skype. I saw the person who I was speaking with. She
All
saw
right.
me, and we went through interview questions. Now I don't know if these recruiters asked you questions related to teaching, but it seems like they didn't. I don't know. Maybe you could correct me. But the person who I was speaking with, the recruiter who works for English First, the company that you applied to teach, that you went to teach abroad with, she was asking questions about my teaching practices, and I was sharing that information with her.
All
How do I engage students? What types of strategies would I use in the classroom when I'm wanting to teach students using this English structure? It was questions related to teaching, not about my requirements and what I have. So when
yeah.
you met with the recruiter via phone meeting, did they ask you
Yeah.
anything about teaching practices, teaching strategies?
Yeah, I almost forgot. The second recruiter really asked me great questions. He asked me great questions relating to teaching. He really asked me a question that, okay, if I'm in a class right now and then there's a baby crying, how do I stop the baby from crying in order for the baby not to, disrupt the class?
Woo!
He actually asked me that question. He also asked me my teaching approach. I told him my teaching approach, and then he asked me a lot of questions relating to education. And I think he really asked these questions for me to think that he's genuine, for me not to suspect that he's a scam. Um, and then I really answered them well. And he spoke so fast and trying to twist his tongue to speak like an American, but I really got the Nigerian accent in him. I really got that, and I said no, 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 no. And the fact that it's not it wasn't a video call, it wasn't, and you come on, a voice call, and you didn't even ask for how do you call it some usually ask for a demo video for natives. Maybe when you're an African, they try to see how you teach before they employ you. I've heard of a lot of African teachers out there abroad that said most of their recruiters ask for a demo video to see their teaching approach. But actually, he didn't ask any of this, and he was mainly bent on asking me to send my passport to him, my passport details. And then I actually didn't send it to him. I didn't, because he said I should send that so that they start processing my insurance for me whilst I make the payment. But I didn't. He was particular about sending my bio data of my passport page to him. I was like, no, no, no. I'm not interested. So I didn't send it to him.
Okay, so the scams that anyone should watch out for if you want to teach abroad, you should have a video conference so you know who you're speaking with and they know who you are.
Yeah.
Do not give out any information about your passport. Any of that should not even be a discussion, especially when you're just having an interview with the person about the particular job. All of that will come later, and it doesn't happen so quick. Right? When you're dealing with these recruiters and companies, they have to go through a process, and they have to just compare your information with other teachers who want to teach abroad. It doesn't happen so quick. They should not be asking for any money. When I applied to teach abroad, I did not have to pay for anything out of my pocket. The company I applied to, English First, they paid for my trip to come to China. That wasn't out of pocket. They
Wow.
handled my visa requirements. There was many incentives that I was going to receive just from leaving the United States and coming to China. They provided me with a 300 US dollar voucher to spend for traveling once I arrived in the country and got settled in. And also, right, when you're coming to a new country, you don't have a place to live just yet.
Yeah.
Have a place to live. So English First, they had a hotel provided for me. They paid the expenses, and I
Wow.
came to China with a big group of other foreigners, people from the United States, people from Canada, people from different parts of the world, and we were in this hotel. We all had our own rooms, but it was a big process, and I think that depending on the route you want to take to teach abroad, especially applying for a language center, they provide you, or they should provide you with these incentives because you're moving from your home country where you feel comfortable going to a place that's foreign to you. So they have to provide these comforts. Joshua, I'm so
Yeah.
happy that you recognized these scams, especially knowing that as a non-native English speaker, you get your hopes up. I would think you get your hopes up thinking like, okay, this is my time. They want to hire
Yeah.
me. I'm about to go to a different place around the world, but then you recognize it's not true. And I think that this information will help anyone who wants to teach abroad so that you can teach better your language.
Yeah, one more thing, please. Concerning the video call for the interview, you just need to be vigilant because now we have um, a lot of editing apps out there. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Joshua.
Yeah. We have a lot of editing apps out there that could be used. So you just need to be vigilant. Sometimes I think now, the scammers, every day they are learning new things, and they're trying new ways to scam people out there. So sometimes maybe the video might be 30 seconds or even a minute or something, but you just need to be vigilant about the videos. When you see a video, you should know if this video is a pre-recorded video or it's a live video you're having with that person. So we need to be very careful about that too.
You know what? I had no idea, no knowledge about this because this is not something I've experienced. But you are experiencing this, and this information that you're sharing will help others. At least they'll know what to look out for.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, what advice can you share to non-native English speakers who feel insecure in their ability to teach?
Okay. Yeah. So for non-native teachers out there, if you really want to teach abroad, I think you need to make sure that teaching is a passion. I'll advise that you don't travel abroad because of the money or the incentives you get out of your home country. You should ask yourself this question: is teaching actually my hobby? Is teaching actually what I love doing? Because it'll get to a time whereby, things might be rough out there in the country in which you find yourself, but what keeps you, staying over there? You just have 1 year contract with the school. And when it's not up to 1 year, you wouldn't be able to terminate the contract because they have their terms and conditions. So it's the passion or the love for teaching that is what will sustain you in another country. So you should make sure that you love teaching. It's something that you love doing. Don't just look at the salary you'll be getting over there, the incentives you'll be getting over there. No, you shouldn't let that be your focus. If that is your focus, you wouldn't be able to cope out there. Yeah. So, and also, you should start getting your documents down. Start preparing your documents down. Try to get a TEFL certificate down. We have a website out there. You can go to Teacherway. We have TEFL certificate courses out there you could write. We have other websites as well. You can get those certificates. So you just have to get your documents down so that when you apply, you don't have to be running around to get this and get that. Yeah. So you just need to be calm as well. You need to also pray. You need to also pray hard, because there'll be sometimes that you'll be so down because of some challenges you face with the employers out there. So it's just prayer that will help you to, step up your game. And also, you need to start learning how to speak like an American. You should have your fluency in English. Yeah, there are a lot of apps out there that you could use to learn how to pronounce some words. I'm not perfect though, but I'm also trying my best. And if you're able to, get it, at least speak near native, speak like close to an American, it will also be an added advantage to you to get a job. Remember, you are competing out there with Americans, Canadians, and a whole lot of people out there. So if you don't have the right documents, if you don't have everything down, I don't think you'll be able to get a job abroad. So that is it. So just keep upgrading yourself every day, keep upgrading yourself, keep learning, keep researching. If you don't understand anything, ask questions. There are people out there that could be of help to you. Teacher World is there. You can go to a YouTube page and ask a question. Should be of help to you. Yeah. So this is the little advice I could give to the natives out there.
Excellent. That's great advice. So, as a non-native English speaker, practice your English. Go on to YouTube. YouTube is a wealth of knowledge. You can check out
Yeah.
videos. There's plenty of apps. You can use Google, use the internet, use resources. Never
Yeah.
stop learning because there are so many people whose first language is not English and they are teaching English abroad. I'm actually
Yeah.
going to have one of my friends who is in China. He is currently in China right now,
All
and
right.
wants to come on the live stream and just share his experience. Now, he's not a teacher. He's from Kenya. He is not a
All right.
teacher, but he is a performer. He
Okay.
performs acrobats and he does flips. And I remember just being next to him and he would do a backflip and he showed me how to do a backflip. And I say, I can't do a backflip and I'm not going to do a backflip because I'm going to break my neck. But he is just amazing and he
Wow.
performs weekly. So he's been in China at least since 2015.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yes, it's a long time. He does not have any desires as of right now to return back to Kenya, but he is
Wow.
going to share what his experience has been like living in China. And I'm actually curious to know more because I've left China 2018
All
and
right.
I know it has changed tremendously, but of course he can share what it's like living abroad.
All right.
Let me see. Is there anything else? You know, Joshua, speaking with you, this is awesome, and I would love to speak with you again so that we can learn more about your progress in your journey. We do see the determination. So I hope that you would like to return back and just keep us up to breast to what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. I'm readily available. I'm readily available to join again. Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, there's some websites that I do want to share with people. If you know any other websites about that will help others who want to teach abroad, Joshua, please add to this conversation. But I definitely know Teachaway. Teachaway is the route that I took to teach abroad when I applied back in 2014. I definitely know a website called Go Overseas, Go Abroad,
Yeah.
Global Global Work travel.com. There's so many different websites, but if you just type in teach abroad on Google, there's so many different websites that's going to pop up. But like Joshua had mentioned before, do your research. If you're going to have an interview, is it a video conference call or is it just speaking to someone by phone? Let me tell you, when I had so many questions, Joshua, probably more questions than you when it came to teaching abroad. And I was probably getting on my recruiter's nerves because I was asking questions every day. I was emailing her every day and I was just
Wow.
looking for a response because being out of the United States, I wanted to be safe. You
Yeah.
know, one time,
Yeah.
5,000 miles, however many miles I am away, I just can't pick up and go back home. So I wanted to be
Yeah.
safe. So definitely do your research, but it's a blast. If I could teach abroad again, would I teach abroad? That's a really hard question to answer. That's really hard because I'm situated in New
Yeah.
York,
All
but
right.
as
You're
far
so
as the
comfortable over there.
say it again,
You're so comfortable in New York, so you
I'm
don't
so
like it.
right. I'm so
Wow.
comfortable. But you know what? Because I
No?
taught abroad, I love traveling. I love
All right.
traveling. I'm not afraid to travel to different countries. I've been to Japan, Singapore. So when you start teaching abroad, Joshua, you are going to be hopping on that plane and going to all different countries because you can.
I can't wait for that. Because I love traveling as well. I love exploring, new locations. Asking questions, and yeah. So it's gonna be a great experience for me. So I just can't wait.
You just can't wait.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Now, do you have any questions that you want to share or that you want to ask me about teaching abroad?
Yeah, yeah. So sometimes you realize that it's written on the vacancy that it's a 1 year contract or something. I want to know what's the maximum number of years, or contract that you could sign with a specific company. Because most of them you see it's 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, and then I haven't seen maybe like 2 years contract or something, but just 1 year. So does it mean that after 1 year you come back to your home country, or how is it done?
That is a great question. There are some jobs that I've seen, especially in the UAE, that they do offer 2 year contracts, but the standard is typically 1 year. And the thing is, you can renew your contract if you are performing the job to the best of your abilities and your employer sees that, they will extend your contract. They will rewrite a new contract for you, and you can stay in that country as long as you want. So I taught in China for 3 years, but I renewed my contract after every year.
Okay, okay,
So I
that's
renewed
great.
my contract. They also increase my salary after every year.
Oh, okay, that's fine. And also, could that be a case whereby maybe the teacher is not performing well, and then maybe after 6 months, or let's say 3 months after the employer terminates the contract, is it possible? And if your contract is terminated, does it mean that you have to come back to your home country, or maybe you could search for another job over there?
That is a great question. Now, I've never experienced with the foreign teachers, other foreign teachers being terminated from their place of employment. I've never
Okay.
experienced that. And there was a teacher I remember working with. I didn't think he did a good job. I was surprised he still lasted as long as he did, but he wasn't terminated. He just completed his time there. They kept him, and that was that. But no, I've never heard of any teacher being terminated from their job because being an English teaching English abroad, you are valuable. You know, English is a language that is spoken in many parts of the world, but it's a language that's used for business and communication, and it's highly regarded and very important. So these countries, these employers, they're not turning away people who are teaching English to their students.
All right. Okay, so I just have one more suggestion. I've been hearing people, non-native specifically, they would advertise that the TEFL certificate. Someone might tell you that okay, I could help you get a TEFL certificate, but I think that is very wrong. I think that you, the teacher, should try to go through the TEFL course yourself, because there are some things there that you'd really need to learn in order for you to teach abroad. So you shouldn't let any company or anybody out there tell you that okay, pay this amount of money and I'll help you get a TEFL certificate. Because people really do that. We have companies that do that. I'll help you get a TEFL certificate with your name on it, right? But you wouldn't go through the stress of reading and writing the quizzes and you know the rest. But I think that our advice that as a teacher, you need to it's your job. You need to go through the course yourself, because when you go through the course, you realize a lot of things that you've been missing, even as a teacher in your home country. The vocabularies, the how to interact with kids abroad. Yeah, so a lot of things are there for you to learn. So you shouldn't let someone write the exams for you. Do it yourself, go through it yourself, and gain the experience. So when you go there, you wouldn't be found wanting. So a lot of them get a certificate here, they pay for it, and when they get there, they don't perform well because they haven't gone through the course. They haven't gone through the course. So I advise that all teachers should go through the course themselves and not let anyone help them do it.
You know what? I like that you bring up this point about the TEFL certificate because there are scams, especially obtaining a TEFL certificate. You have to go through the training and the course to receive your TEFL certificate. And I received mine. It was sponsored by English First. But you know what? I want to tell you this as well. Depending on where you get your TEFL course, some companies won't even hire you because the certificate is not internationally recognized. And if it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
internationally recognized, you're not going to get the job, right? Because
yeah,
these companies, they're going to vet that certificate and see if it's authenticated. Is it a
yeah,
real document? And if it's not real, you're not going to get the job. So when it comes to looking and seeking out these TEFL courses, they are expensive. And you've probably seen, Joshua, through your research that how expensive that they can be. But at least you have the peace of mind knowing that you have a TEFL certificate, it is valid, and that a
yeah.
company will hire you because you went through the training. You know, there's a website that I'm going to share with you. It's called Teaching Nomad. Nomad. I just saw this. I just did the research yesterday. Teaching Nomad, if you Google it, you're going to find information about a TEFL course. Now, they offer their course for 249 US dollars.
All right.
but it's very detailed, and they actually give you a preview of what their instruction looks like. So
Okay.
I know, yep, I know chapter 2, when you go on Teaching Nomad, when you Google it, it's titled Approaches to Language Learning. And it gives you a
Okay.
preview and history and knowledge about the approaches to learning a language. But their modules, it goes into pre-teaching vocabulary, it goes into lesson planning, grammar activities, teaching pronunciation,
All right.
teaching, observe, you be able to observe a teacher uh teaching English as a foreign language in the classroom. You get to see all these different practices. You also get practice with planning your lesson plans, and you take a final test, and then after that you look for, they provide information to finding a job. So if you get around to it, check out Teaching Nomad and just
All right.
look and see if it's something that you think is beneficial to obtain your TEFL certificate.
Okay. All right. That's great. Thank you for sharing.
Of course. All right. Any last words before we end our live stream?
Yeah. I'm so glad that we had this live stream because it's going to be an eye opener to a lot of people out there. I know a lot of people are falling scams to the people out there. Um, you see, everyone wants to move out of his or her home country to teach abroad, and some do that because of the salary, others too for the passion. But whatever your reason is, you just need to do a lot of research. That's it. You need to do a lot of research. You need to keep on pushing. You don't give up. Don't give up until you are out of your home country. So keep pushing. You might get negative comments out there, but don't. I see the negative comments as a booster to me, as something that would even encourage me to keep pressing. Because I believe that my success story would also be a motivation to someone out there. So yeah, that's it. That's it. So and please keep following Teacher World on YouTube. She posts a lot of videos out there concerning teaching abroad and um, a whole lot, the processes and everything. You follow her on YouTube, watch her videos, and ask her questions. She's willing to help. She has a good. She has helped me a lot throughout my journey, and she's still with me. She's still with me. So yeah. So keep praying as well. Keep praying as well. Keep praying. When there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely. If there is a will, there is a way. Joshua, I look forward to having you again.
Yeah.
Next Saturday, if you're able to, I'm going to meet with my good friend Martin, who is currently living in China. He is
All right.
the acrobat who does backflips. He's going to attend the live stream next week and just share his experience of teaching abroad. Anyone
All
out
right.
there who would like to join the live stream and listen to him share his knowledge and what it's like living in a different country, please tune in. My YouTube channel is Teacher World. It is spelled. I will post this here so you can see. Please find me at Teacher World, and I look forward to seeing you again, Joshua. Thank you.